Have you ever felt a smile that seemed too forced, a compliment that sounded slightly hollow, or a pause in conversation that lingered just a bit too long? These subtle moments often carry hidden messages, signals we tend to overlook or dismiss. But what if these quiet cues are trying to tell you something important, something you've been ignoring? Could it be that someone close to you harbors dislike, but conceals it behind a mask of politeness? As Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone despises me, that is their problem. My only concern is whether I am acting justly." This timeless wisdom reminds us that while we cannot control others' feelings, we can control our awareness and response. This video isn't about paranoia or overanalyzing every interaction. It's about clarity. By the end of this journey, you'll not only recognize the hidden signs of concealed dislike, but also learn how to navigate these situations with the calm and integrity of a Stoic. Think about it. Have you ever trusted someone only to later realize they had been quietly undermining you? These moments can shake your peace and leave you questioning everything. But instead of letting these experiences control you, Stoicism teaches us to rise above them. Together, we'll uncover the subtle signs of hidden animosity and explore how to protect your inner tranquility. 1. Avoidance of eye contact. Eye contact is a silent yet powerful form of communication, carrying the weight of honesty, presence, and even discomfort. When someone avoids meeting your gaze, it is rarely a trivial act. Stoicism urges us to look beyond the surface and recognize that such behavior often reflects an internal struggle rather than anything personal. Perhaps it stems from guilt, resentment, or even fear of confrontation. As Epictetus teaches, we must observe without judgment, seeing things as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. Avoidance of eye contact, then, is not always indifference. It can reveal a private battle, an unspoken truth, waiting to surface. Have you ever noticed someone refusing to meet your eyes during a conversation? Did it leave you questioning their intentions or your own actions? Instead of jumping to conclusions, pause and reflect. Could their silence and avoidance be masking deeper emotions, frustration, insecurity, or even overwhelm? By shifting your perspective, you free yourself from unnecessary assumptions and cultivate clarity in your relationships. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what lies within our control, our response. When faced with this subtle behavior, resist the urge to react emotionally. Instead, approach it with compassion and calm. Ask yourself, is this avoidance about me, or is it their own internal conflict? The answer often lies in patience and observation. The next time you encounter avoidance of eye contact, use it as an opportunity to practice awareness and detachment. Don't let it disturb your peace. Instead, see it as a moment to strengthen your understanding of human complexity. The ability to remain steady in the face of ambiguity is the mark of true inner strength. How will you respond, with frustration or with the wisdom of a Stoic? 2. Passive-aggressive remarks. Dislike often operates in silence, hiding behind a facade of politeness, sarcasm, subtle humor, or compliments that sting rather than uplift. These passive-aggressive remarks, though seemingly harmless, carry a private weight that can unsettle us. Stoicism reminds us to observe such behavior without reacting impulsively. As Marcus Aurelius advises, focus inward and ask, is what I am doing aligned with virtue? This shift in perspective allows us to see these remarks for what they truly are, reflections of the speaker's unresolved frustrations or insecurities, rather than valid critiques of our character. Have you ever encountered someone whose words, though polite on the surface, carried an undertone of resentment? Perhaps a strained smile accompanied a comment like, "Must be nice to have so much free time." At first glance, such remarks may seem trivial, but their silent discomfort lingers. Instead of internalizing their negativity, pause and reflect. Is this about me, or is it their private struggle surfacing? Recognizing this distinction helps you respond with calm and understanding, rather than frustration. Stoicism teaches us to treat these moments as external data, not personal attacks. By maintaining a discerning perspective, we preserve our inner peace and avoid mirroring negativity. The next time you face a passive-aggressive remark, consider this. What lies beneath their words? Is it envy, insecurity, or simply stress? Responding with patience and self-control not only protects your tranquility, but also demonstrates your commitment to virtue. How often do we let subtle jabs disrupt our peace? Instead, ask yourself, what truly matters here, reacting to their words or staying true to my values? Mastering this art of detachment is the hallmark of a Stoic, one who faces life's challenges with grace and clarity. Will you rise above, or let their silence pull you down? 3. Exclusion from decisions or plans. Imagine being part of a team where decisions are made and plans unfold, yet you remain silent on the sidelines, uninformed, excluded, perhaps even invisible. At first it may seem like a simple oversight, but such exclusion often carries a private, unspoken weight. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what lies within our control, reminding us that exclusion is not a reflection of our worth, but rather a window into the priorities or insecurities of others. As Marcus Aurelius advises, we must observe without attachment, recognizing these moments for what they are, not what we imagine them to be. Have you ever found yourself questioning why you were left out? Was it truly deliberate, or could it have been a misunderstanding? These moments, though painful, are opportunities to practice detachment and strengthen your resilience. If the exclusion was intentional, it speaks to their character, not yours. Your value is not diminished by their silence. Instead of internalizing the sting of exclusion, ask yourself, what truly lies within my control? The answer is simple, your response. When faced with exclusion, resist the urge to let it infiltrate your sense of self. Their choices are external events. Your peace is private and yours to protect. By maintaining clarity and focusing on your own path, you free yourself from the emotional weight of their actions. How often do we allow others' decisions to dictate our self-worth? Instead, let these instances remind you of your inner strength. The next time you feel left out, pause and reflect. Does this truly define me, or is it an opportunity to rise above? In choosing the latter, you embody the wisdom and resilience of a Stoic, one who remains steady in the face of life's uncertainties. 4. Unwillingness to celebrate your success. Have you ever achieved something meaningful only to be met with silence or a lukewarm response from someone you thought would celebrate with you? Perhaps they offered a muted, "good for you," or quickly changed the subject. Stoicism teaches us to observe such moments without judgment, understanding that their reaction often reveals more about their private struggles than your success. The inability to celebrate another's achievements stems from envy, insecurity, or dissatisfaction, an internal conflict unrelated to your accomplishment. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, rejoice with those who rejoice, for celebrating others' victories is an act of virtue and strength. I recall a time when I completed a project I had poured months of effort into. While most colleagues congratulated me warmly, one simply nodded and moved on. At first, their indifference stung, but later, I realized they had been vying for the same opportunity and felt overshadowed. Their reaction wasn't about me, it was a reflection of their own emotions. Recognizing this freed me from resentment and allowed me to approach the situation with compassion. When faced with such responses, ask yourself, does their silence diminish my achievement? The answer is no. Their struggle is their own, and it is not your responsibility to carry it. Instead, remain grounded in your success and extend understanding, knowing that their reaction does not define your worth. How often do we let others' muted responses cloud our joy? Instead, let these moments remind you of the importance of celebrating others, even when it's difficult. The next time someone is unwilling to celebrate your success, choose to rise above. Stay silent where judgment might emerge, and private in your reflections, focusing on what truly matters, your own growth and the virtue of empathy. 5. Overemphasis on your flaws. Have you ever noticed someone repeatedly pointing out your flaws, framing it as helpful feedback? At first glance, it may seem constructive, but Stoicism teaches us to question the intent behind such behavior. Is it genuine critique meant to help you grow, or an attempt to assert superiority? Epictetus reminds us that our worth is not determined by the judgments of others. Instead, we must discern, is this feedback fair, or does it carry an undertone of malice? When someone fixates on your flaws, it often says more about them than it does about you. Their criticism may stem from insecurity, envy, or a need to mask their own shortcomings. While it may feel personal, Stoicism encourages us to remain silent and calm, treating such moments as external events. Their words are private reflections of their inner struggles, not a measure of your value. How you respond, however, is entirely within your control. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to magnify your mistakes? Could it be a misunderstanding of their intentions or something deeper? Reflect on these interactions. By observing without taking offense, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional burdens. Frequent and exaggerated criticism is not a reflection of your abilities, but an opportunity to practice resilience and self-awareness. The next time someone overemphasizes your flaws, pause and ask yourself, does this feedback serve my growth, or is it rooted in their own struggles? By maintaining clarity and detachment, you safeguard your peace and focus on what truly matters, your own progress. Remember, as a Stoic, your response to criticism defines you far more than the criticism itself. Will you let their words shake you, or will you rise above with grace and composure? 6. Limited communication. Have you ever experienced someone giving you short, curt responses or avoiding conversations entirely? This kind of silent withdrawal can feel confusing, even unsettling. Stoicism teaches us to observe such patterns without rushing to conclusions. Limited communication can stem from many causes. Perhaps they are preoccupied, or perhaps it's a private struggle they are managing in their own way. Instead of assuming, approach such situations with curiosity. As the Stoics remind us, actions often reveal more than words. I recall a time when a close friend began responding to my messages with one-word answers, and our once lively conversations became sparse. At first, I felt frustrated and even hurt, but instead of reacting emotionally, I chose to address it calmly. When I asked, They admitted they had been harboring resentment over an offhand comment I made weeks earlier, something I hadn't even realized was hurtful. Their limited communication wasn't about disinterest or rejection, it was their way of handling unresolved emotions, even if it unintentionally created distance between us. When faced with such silence, ask yourself, is this truly about me? Or could it be a reflection of their private struggles? By viewing their behavior as external to your sense of self, you can respond with patience and understanding rather than frustration. Limited communication, while uncomfortable, is often an opportunity for reflection and resolution. The next time you encounter someone withdrawing, resist the urge to take it personally. Instead, consider what lies beneath their silence. By maintaining calm and addressing the situation thoughtfully, you open the door to clarity and connection, turning what feels like rejection into a chance for growth, for both yourself and the relationship. Will you react, or will you respond with the wisdom of a Stoic? 7. Contradictory behaviour. Have you ever encountered someone whose behavior shifts unpredictably, warm and engaging one day, silent and distant the next? Such inconsistency can leave you questioning your relationship and your own actions. Stoicism, however, teaches us to focus on patterns rather than fleeting moments. Contradictory behavior often reflects internal conflict. It suggests the person is grappling with private, unresolved feelings, and their inner turmoil spills over into their interactions. Instead of reacting impulsively to their unpredictability, the Stoic approach is to observe without judgment. Ask yourself, is this inconsistency truly about me, or is it a reflection of their own struggles? By viewing their behavior as external to your sense of self, you protect your peace and avoid unnecessary emotional entanglement. Their silent shifts and erratic actions are not a measure of your worth, but a window into their journey. I recall working with someone who alternated between enthusiastic collaboration and aloof silence. At first I took it personally, assuming I had done something wrong. But as time passed, I realized their behavior was rooted in their own insecurities and stress, not in anything I had done. By stepping back and observing calmly, I was able to respond with patience rather than frustration. The next time you face contradictory behavior, resist the urge to react emotionally. Instead, reflect, what do their patterns reveal? Over time, these patterns will provide clarity far more reliable than any single moment. By maintaining a calm, grounded perspective, you can navigate such situations with grace, ensuring their unpredictability doesn't disrupt your inner peace. Will you let their inconsistency control your emotions, or will you rise above it with the wisdom of a Stoic? Life is filled with subtle signals, quiet actions, unspoken words, and hidden emotions. Recognizing these signs is not about suspicion or overthinking, but about cultivating awareness and protecting your inner peace. As the Stoics teach us, we cannot control how others feel or act, but we can always control how we respond. At Stoic in Time, we believe in navigating life's challenges with wisdom, resilience, and clarity. By understanding these hidden signs of animosity, you gain the tools to rise above negativity with calm and grace. Remember, your peace is private, your strength is silent, and your growth is yours to protect. If this video brought you value, support the journey by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Together, we can build a community grounded in reason, virtue, and inner strength. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay resilient, stay wise, and stay true to yourself.